All right, good people of the internet. It is March 10th, 2024, and I have some roses that I am getting ready to plant here. I was originally going to plant 3 in this bed, but I think I'm going to plant 2 to try to make sure that I don't overdo it. But these are, I've got a yellow rose. It's a rose floribunda, Sunsprite. This one is yellow. My son picked these out at, I guess last week. I think on Friday we picked these out, and it is Monday. It's been raining the last few days. It's really windy today. I guess testing out these new Rode microphones. I figured this is a good opportunity to see how well they do with the wind. But this is the other one. It is a rose floribunda, and I believe that says Centennial. This one, it says, will reach about 4 feet, and this one I believe is a little over 2 feet. So this bed is kind of on a slope, and this is the low side, so I figure that makes a lot of sense. But anyways, these beds, last year I built these. They were peat moss, perlite. I used some compost, some worm castings, and what else? They had gotten a cover crop. I've been putting eggshells in them over the last year. I had grown garlic last winter in them, and that was moderately successful. There wasn't enough soil. I think the soil was a little too shallow for the garlic, and the watering was not on point. Stuff down on this end wound up being pretty small, and then up here it was okay, but down here I had most of the issues. But I added 2 bags of just pre-mixed bag, raised bed mix, and I'm gonna put in kind of a mix to add some aeration of pumice. I'll show you what I got. Some pumice, some rice hulls, and a little bit of biochar to try to add some aeration, and then some nutrients to the mix. It's going to blow away, but as you can see, the issue that I was having with the perlite last year, I mean, I used it because, well, I used it. But all the perlite wants to come to the top real quick, and I'd like to put something in here that'll hold for a while. But I'm just going to put this down and then mix it in by hand. I learned a painful lesson last year when mixing soil by getting some perlite underneath one of my fingernails. So I've always wear the gloves when I'm mixing up the soil now. I go barehanded when I've got worm castings alone, but for the soil mixing, anything that's got a little bit of little poke on it, make sure I get it. And all the amount that I have in here is, what did I do? I did 12 red solo cups of the pumice and 12 red solo cups of the rice hulls, and then 2 solo cups of the biochar. All right, so we're going to get this spread over the top somewhat evenly. All right, and then inside, try not to have the rice hulls blow away. And I'm also going to add some, I want to make sure I call it the right thing. I'm going to add some glacial rock dust as well to mix in, and then when I've when I open up the holes, there's this, I'm going to put in some worm castings and then some Montana Grow, which as I understand it is kind of a glacial rock dust or a basalt kind of deal. High in silica, plants love it. I've been using it on the indoor plants, and they make a product for lawns that I guess a lot of golf courses buy, and I'm interested in using that for my lawn. It's not super cheap, but it seems to make everything quite happy. All right, so I will go along. It rained over the last couple days, so there's some moisture in this. I've never grown roses before. I know my mom in our garden growing up had roses, and I was always kind of terrified of them because of the spikes or the thorns. It still kind of makes me a little nervous. But my son loves them, and it's an opportunity for him to kind of understand that he needs to be careful around them. All right, so put that there for now. Stay. All right. There's been a little bit of I don't know if you can see this, but a couple whatchamacallit, heads of garlic I think I missed that are starting to kick up, so I may have a little garlic in here, but we'll get this mixed in. Come by and I'll do the rock dust. Dig our holes, drop in some worm castings. And in the past, I've definitely overthought kind of trying to make things perfect. So this year I kind of just want to take what's been working and kind of just see how these things respond. I had covered these beds with leaves, and there are some pine needles in here, so hopefully that doesn't negatively impact me, but kind of my attempt in all of this is to have a living soil environment, and this stuff will get broken down. And since these are fresh bags of raised bed soil that I had added in here, and I had put some compost in before winter time when I covered it with the leaves, I'm hopeful that there's enough nutrition in this soil, at least for a month or two. I'll add some kind of an organic blend down the road, but all right, so that looks pretty good. Yeah, so I've got the pre-measured these so I don't go too crazy with the Montana Grow, but I have 3/4 of a cup of Montana Grow that'll go in the hole. And then I will use the mycorrhizal inoculum on the roots. To kind of give a little bit of a boost there. and help the kind of the roots connect to that soil. All right. I don't know what my perfect ratio is. I want to breathe this stuff in. It's super windy, so. Gotta remember that lid is not on tight. All right, one more mix by hand here. I can taste a little bit of that dust in my mouth. All right. Once we get these in here, I'm going to take some pumice and I'll create a little bit of a circle around each of the roses. And then we'll put a little bit of a cover crop down. I found that was really helpful using the cover crop last year to let me know kind of just how the watering is. Like, because I think I, like a lot of folks who don't necessarily have a natural green thumb, tend to get impatient and overwater. So seeing the cover crop growing up and being happy kind of gives me peace of mind knowing that, hey, I don't have to constantly be watering. But the plan with this is in the next month or two to set up some drip irrigation for it. I've played with a couple different types of self-watering setups, and I have not used drip yet, so I want to try drip for these beds since they're pretty straightforward. I'll put probably a trash can and then have drip lines that come out of it for this. But yeah, that, or I also have the blue mats or blue mots, however you say it. I have not used those, but I was going to use those for my 3x3 garden boxes. All right, I think that looks okay. All right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So I'm going to call that one there. And these said 12-inch hole, larger than the size of the pot. Right, so all that just basically wants me to plant it so the cluster on top is sticking out. I don't know the technical name, so I'm not even going to try to guess. But I think a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper. And I can build that up. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna drop in 3/4 cup Montana Grow, and I'll mix in at the bottom there. A couple handfuls of worm castings. Mix that up nice and good. some of the Mycos. I will say my success rate of planting things since I've started using the Mycos, I don't know if it's just me looking for things to work better, or it's just, you know, combination of whatever, but got a big old worm. He swiveled back up, but big guy, you can live in there. Not the most efficient there. All right. Sure. All right. Try to just kind of pat that in. And I gotta find a stake or something to put these on, but this one is the yellow. I'll just set it under the brick for now. Hang on to this. And number 2. So we're going to go right about here. Soil looks beautiful, so hopefully it can make these roses happy. It's definitely a moist soil right now, so I'm going to hold off on watering in because these have been sitting outside for the last few days. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. Open this up just a little more. All right, now we'll pop in Montana Grow. Sniffles today. I got worms inside the worm casting. That's pretty cool. And I don't think I made any videos on it last year. I know I talked about it a little bit, but I did a worm bin, and I would like to go back to that because these worm castings are awesome. But that was definitely not a total failure because I learned a lot, but it was frustrating. Frustrating. What did I do with the scooper? Oh, there it is. All right. Put in some Mycos. Very liberally here. A lot more than I'm sure I need to use. I don't think it's a big deal if I use too much. I know it needs to come in contact directly with the roots, but again, this is the Rose Floribunda, the Centennial, kind of red and white, like splatter paint one. You can't see that, I'm sure. But I'll stash this one here. Probably gonna jinx myself, but I haven't stabbed myself with the thorns yet. All right, what did I say, orientation-wise? That's what I want to do. All right, baby, stay together. kind of came apart in a couple different sections. It's a whole lot all over the place. All right, well, try to push these roots down. Get you in your new home. Hopefully you'll be happy and healthy and very productive in this new environment. All right, and like I said, I'm gonna got some extra worm castings, so sprinkle those around. I'm gonna put the pumice down just around the base of these. Then I'll lay down the cover crop, and I have a straw log that, I guess it was technically a mushroom log. It was inoculated to grow mushrooms. I had gotten it more so because it was sanitary, because it had been boiled trying to avoid weeds, and I didn't use it last year, so over the winter, I'll show you this. This log has got mushrooms that grew, so there's like this rubbery white mix in here. But I'll do some cover with this. All right, so pumice. Kind of look like little spiky bonsai trees. All right, put this stuff away. All right, now I'm going to spread out. Hopefully this doesn't blow away too much, but this cover crop, the seed is just a 12 seed blend. I've had good luck with this. You know, it's been maybe, what is this? I got to do the math on it, but I think this is somewhere around year 8 for me for trying to grow stuff, gardening. And I had originally, remember, picked up a book on organic gardening and cover cropping and everything else, and I quickly got discouraged because it was so overwhelming. But then last year I feel like I have a better understanding of things, which more so just kind of understanding less is more and getting out of my own way. I'm overspreading this, I'm sure. But like I said, this is, for me, I found it as a good indicator of kind of my watering Also gives the ability to do a chop and drop to feed the soil. And this, it's almost like it has paste all in it. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow it all away. I'll try to help it make a little contact with the soil after we get it somewhat spread out. But last year I definitely ran it with these beds for the garlic. I definitely ran into erosion issues with the heavy rains through the winter. So just everything flowing downhill. The soil definitely made its way out of the garden bed. And I had a whole lot of perlite that migrated its way on out. So we shall see if the lesson's learned. Still got really trash. Yeah, this wind is whipping today. It's crazy. This log, I say log, the straw log, I think I got last August, and it is extremely wet, but it smells like fishing bait from when I was a kid. Like, it doesn't smell bad, it just has kind of a it smells like wet mushrooms, maybe. No, not wet mushrooms. It smells like the fake cheese we used to use as a kid to fish. So it smells nostalgic. For the bed right here, I want to put in tulips. I haven't done a ton of research. I want to put in tulips, so I'll probably buy something in the next few weeks to put in there. But I need a couple more bags of soil to kind of build that up a little more. I've also got my Greenstock towers, which I have been doing strawberries in. I just got the bases, the spinner bases for those. I didn't have the spinners on them last year, and I definitely would have benefited from that. So hopefully my strawberries will get going, but I'll make another video about that. But this, where can I steal some from? There we go. This 12 seed cover crop though, and as I've used it, it seems to kick up pretty quickly. So I anticipate in the next probably 2 weeks I'll have stuff starting to creep up. These beds get basically full sunlight all day long. So they should these should get going. And like I said, I'm not going to water these in, so, all right. I can keep going for a while here, but get this back on. Grab this, we'll take a look. Just one last look, and we'll see how this one develops over the course of the season. So, for anybody who watched this, thanks for watching. Check you later. Peace.